Of the many mistakes that could be forgiven due to intoxication, insulting a drug lord is not often one of them. Today, I'm going to dive deep into one such instance and find out what, why, and how it exactly happened. Keep watching to find out more. Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales was a teenager that a lot of teenage boys around the world would have envied. Born in Navolato in the state of Sinaloa, Mexico, his mother left him with his grandmother as a child, and he never knew his father. Rosales then lived with his grandmother until the age of 15, where he dropped out of high school. As if wanting to erase every trace of his origin, he also left Navolato and made for a nearby town called Culiacan, which he made his new home. He settled in the Culiacan pretty well, and at the time he was making a living by washing cars. However, by the time he was 17 years old, he had begun to make a very good living for someone his age. But apart from the money he made, the one thing that made people wish they were in his shoes was the way he made his money. Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales was a partier, and that may as well have been his profession. He would post videos on social media of himself drinking excessively. Most of the time in the videos he made, he was either drunk enough to pass out or on his way there. His videos showcased him drinking bottles and cans of beer, whiskey, and other alcoholic drinks. Sometimes he would get so drunk that he would actually pass out. Strangely enough, his videos started going viral. People from all over Mexico and beyond found him very entertaining. They liked watching him drink extraordinary amounts of alcohol and sometimes do drugs and throw money around. The silly jokes he made, the funny things he did while drunk and sometimes even sober, and his clownish behavior in general was very entertaining and attracted a lot of fans and followers to his social media. On Instagram, he had over 300,000 followers, and on Facebook, his follower count was more than 1 million. He was, quite literally, a social media sensation. Juan Luis was popularly known by his nickname he had adopted as El Pirata de Culiacan, which means the Pirate of Culiacan, a name which was a homage towards his fondness and love for his new hometown. The Pirate of Culiacan's increasing social media popularity and high following earned him spots as a guest in music videos and in several parties and promotional events. Anyone who didn't know his age might have found it difficult to believe that Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales was just 17 years old and not even a legal adult, which was no surprise considering his lifestyle gave no clues to the fact that he was not even legally an adult yet. The legal drinking age in Mexico is 18 years old, but that didn't stop the Pirate of Culiacan was just 17 from drinking heavily as well as taking and sharing videos of his alcohol-filled lifestyle. It almost seemed like he wanted to make people forget just how young he was, as he would often post pictures and videos of himself on social media with expensive cars, motorcycles, and wads of currency notes. Juan often painted a beard on his face which transformed his babyish features, making him look much more older than he actually was, perhaps in an attempt to keep up with his being an adult facade. He also had huge tattoos on both his arms, a tiger, and a pirate as a reference to his nickname. In addition to all of this, the Pirate of Culiacan often posted pictures of himself posing with half-naked ladies who looked considerably older than he was, and even different types of weaponry. At this point, it is safe to say that anyone living this kind of life would feel invincible and develop the mindset that he could get away with anything, or felt like he could say anything that he liked to anyone at all. In his mind, he was probably invincible. It also shouldn't come as a surprise that he broke the law quite often, and got away with it every time. Doing drugs, drinking alcohol as a minor, and flaunting weapons, all of which should be illegal. Juan did all of these things and boldly shared them online for the world to see, yet the authorities turned a blind eye. Rather than getting a bad reputation or a penalty for his blatant disregard for the law, what he got was a growing fan base, celebrity friends and acquaintances, invites to parties and business deals. It almost seemed as if instead of being punished for doing the illegal stuff that he was doing, he was being rewarded for it. The more daring he became, the more his fame continued to grow, so there was no reason convincing enough for him to stop or slow down. He continued to push boundaries unrestrained and uncontrollable. But the thing about boundaries is that you can only push so far. So one fateful day, he went a little too far. the very business of uploading audacious videos to entertain others, which brought him a lot of fame and money, would cost him his life. In December of 2017, Rosales posted yet another video online. In this video, Rosales was visibly intoxicated due to excessive drinking. In the video in question, he was anything but reserved, talking with a reckless confidence, and with his characteristic air of invincibility, he made bold statements while gesturing at the camera. Under normal circumstances, this video would have passed as just yet another of the entertainer's stunts. It would have gained him some more followers, a little bit more recognition. However, the circumstances this time were very different. And this was because of the person that Juan Luis had decided to target in the video, El Mencho. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, more popularly known by his alias El Mencho, is the leader of Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generación, which translates to New Generation Jalisco Cartel in English. This cartel is one of the most notorious organized crime syndicates in the entire nation of Mexico. They are known as the fastest growing, most violent, and the second most powerful cartel in the country, second only to Cartel de Sinaloa, which was once led by the infamous drug lord El Chapo. The New Generation Jalisco Cartel was a relatively new cartel, created just over a decade or two ago, that has grown incredibly fast and has become incredibly powerful. The cartel was formed by a splinter group which broke off from the syndicate known as the Millennial Cartel. Despite being a young organization, the New Generation has drawn the attention of the general populace. They've made headlines several times. Once, they shot down an army helicopter using an RPG and killing 6 soldiers in order to protect their leader. Another time, they sent the head of a decapitated pig to a former attorney general in an attempt to intimidate him. In addition to these, the cartel has killed judges, policemen, congressmen, and thousands of civilians. One time, they ambushed a group of policemen, killing 14 of them. According to United States officials, the cartel is responsible for supplying more than 1/3 of all illegal drugs consumed in the US and has even expanded into Europe and Asia. They have several methamphetamine labs throughout Mexico and are also involved in the illegal production and sale of cocaine as well as crystal meth. What's more, the gang is known for stealing crude oil, selling weapons, kidnapping, extortion, and several other criminal acts of violence. And at the top of this chain of violence and crime is the man known as El Mencho. El Mencho is a man who likes to keep a low profile and remain shrouded in mystery. He is one of the most wanted criminals in the United States, and in Mexico, he tops the list as the most wanted drug lord. El Mencho is wanted for drug trafficking, illegal possession of firearms, and for his involvement in organized crime. His career started in the Millennial Cartel, but after most of his bosses were either killed or arrested, he went on to create his own cartel, the New Generation Jalisco Cartel. Under his direction, the New Generation has achieved top notoriety. In Mexico, everything his cartels done was directed under his leadership. There are alleged reports that El Mencho was once a member of the police force, but was sentenced to 3 years in prison for selling heroin. Whether or not that is true, it is pretty evident that the man is no longer on the side of the law. His infamy has earned him a record-breaking bounty set by the United States government at around $10 million for anyone who has any information leading to his arrest or conviction. So far, this is the highest that has ever been offered by the United States government for a drug lord. In Mexico, the bounty being offered for El Mencho is 30 million pesos, which more or less comes to around 1.5 million American dollars. Evidently, El Mencho is not the type of guy to be messed around with. It is almost impossible to be familiar with the name El Mencho and not be aware of the ruthlessness and violence that has been associated with him and his cartel. However, despite the drug lord's reputation, El Pirata went ahead and took a jab at him. In the video, Juan Luis said El Mencho, "A mí me pela la verga," which roughly translates to "El Mencho, suck my stick." On December 18, 2017, weeks after the video of Rosales calling out El Mencho went viral, he made the second biggest mistake of his life. He made a post telling his fans to meet him at a bar in the Guadalajara metropolitan area in the Jalisco. Meanwhile, this area happened to be where many of the drug trades took place. At around 11 p.m., the fun was interrupted by a group of armed men who burst into the bar and started shooting. Even though one of the employees of the bar, a 25-year-old, was also killed, the attack was evidently directed at Juan. They pumped bullets into his body, killing the young internet celebrity instantly. According to Raul Sanchez Jimenez, the teenager sustained between 15 and 18 bullet wounds. When authorities came to the scene, it was Juan's tattoos that they used to identify the bullet-ridden corpse. Juan's death was one of the country's record 25,000 homicides that year. This gave an average of 69 murders per day. The state of Jalisco alone had nearly 1,400 murders in that area. No doubt Jalisco was a dangerous place, however, Juan seemed to have bitten off more than he could chew the moment he recorded a video and posted it online. The killers still have not been identified until date, and so no one has been arrested in relation to the murder of Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales. While some may have envied the life the star once had, it's clear that being in the public eye had its drawbacks and its repercussions. When he wasn't passed out from intoxication, he was a cheerful, fun-loving teenager who was loved by his friends. However, to make the story of this teenager's death even more disheartening was the fact that Juan had been making subtle mentions of his attempts at getting better. Once during an interview, he confessed to acknowledging that he sometimes took drinking too far and that he needed to fix all of the problems that he had. The young star had hopes of starting a singing career. He had signed a deal with a recording label, but unfortunately for him, it was too late. Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales had a short life and an even shorter career, both of which were ended by one wrong move that he wasn't even given a chance to regret. It is very unfortunate, but sometimes one wrong move is all it takes. That's it for today, guys, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click on the bell icon for further notifications so you don't miss any updates or any new videos. And thank you for watching.